Bum, 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 bum. England! Bum, 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 bum. This is the Self-Preservation Society. This is the Self-Preservation Society. Go wash your German man. Either way, we got a lot to do. Put on your dicky bow and something right. Time's flying by. I honestly always thought that Michael Caine sang that song until I looked the song up recently. I always thought they just got Michael Caine to sing it because it just sounds like a Londoner from the 1960s. But no, it was some band that did it.
Well, now we're scared off all the viewers. We can start.
Yeah, we scared off the 0 viewers. Hello, everyone. What is going on? James here, and welcome back to the Banterous Hour with fellow co-host GC.
Yeah, it's dragging me in for one of my favourite movies.
Yeah, man. And another great film, Heat. We might as well start off with Heat. So, Heat is a film directed by Michael Mann, and the cast in it is absolutely mad. When I first watched this a few years ago, I thought to myself, goodness gracious, bloody Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Val Kilmer, them three alone, like bloody hell, damn. Great cast there.
It is.
Danny Trejo, William Finchner or Fickner. I can't remember how you pronounce it. Wes Studi, he's good. He was in the what's that film with Daniel Day-Lewis? He played the bad guy in that film.
Clear.
I'm trying to think. It'll come up once I click. Last of the Mohicans. Yeah, he was the bad guy in that. Very intimidating in that. Well, I wouldn't even say bad guy. Just not. He got screwed over, so he was quite angry. But that's another film for probably not another occasion because I don't. Oh yeah, John Voight's in it as well. But yeah, that film maybe we could review it one day. But I don't think it's any. It's not your or Liam's type of film. It's quite slow paced. Very well.
Yeah, maybe Princess Slippers or I don't know.
Very well done and well acted, but I really don't know if it's up your alley. Anyway, so today we review Heat and the Italian Job, the original Italian Job, as you can tell by the title, 1969.
Not the 1990s one.
No, you mean 2003?
Oh, it's correct. That's close enough.
I think it was 2000. Yeah, 2003. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about Heat then. So Heat starts off with Robert De Niro on a train. He's getting off the train. And you think, bloody hell, who's this guy? Who's this chatty geezer walking around like a bad man? And you see some other geezers, getting together to basically do a heist. I think Val Kilmer's buying some. I can't remember if he's buying explosives or something for it. And who's his mate in it as well? Oh, I keep forgetting it. I think it's Michael. And then there's this bloke called Wayne Grow. He's the typical, mad gun in the group. He like messes up the heist basically. So the first heist they're doing, they're stealing some bearer bonds from an armored car. And Wayne Grow straight away, he's just angry at the guards. And he's like, "Oh, you piece of shit!" And he just hits him with a gun. And then I think it's Michael who says to him, like, "Bro, they can't hear you. You see the blood coming out their ears." And then they all end up getting shot. Well, Wayne Grow shoots one of them, and they all get shot, which is a bit of a shame for the police officers. Also, we get some decent seeds planted in Al Pacino's first scene where he's making love with his missus, and then his stepdaughter comes in, and she's quite anxious. What? George? Stepdaughter's very young. It was Natalie. No. It was Natalie Portman when she was very young, George. I'm not having those sort of jokes. I'm doing this podcast all on my own now. George is fired. We're firing Boogie. We're firing Wings. George is fired now for 3 months. 3 months, no pay. Good day. End of podcast.
I'm not paid anyway. So
neither am I. I'm not paid.
I've lost my point now.
Anyway, so I don't know why you said that she joined in. That was awful, George.
I don't know.
That was horrible.
Yeah, you
Actually,
know
no.
what?
Hold
I've
on.
seen
Why am I
some weird
saying?
stuff.
Why was I saying it was only horrible? Because it's horrible anyway. Even if Natalie Portman was like bloody 20 in the film, it's bloody incest. What? Oh, it's just evil and horrible anyway.
5 minutes in, and I'm already derailed the podcast.
Yeah, it's already complete. Oh no, you're crying laughing over this horrendousness. I love how we have one viewer and then I'm like, this is bloody incest, and then 0 viewers again.
God.
Brilliant. Anyway, so Al Pacino's missus is like, I think she's asking him about going somewhere, and he's like, no, I got to go to work. And basically, he always puts his job first, no matter what. And the whole theme behind the two main geezers in the film, Al Pacino's character Vincent and Neil, played by Robert De Niro, Neil McCauley, both their characters are about resisting commitment in life. They just want to focus on their grind and what they do and forget everyone and everything else and responsibility. So
They're based off real people as well, aren't they?
I don't know. I don't think
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Well, the copies and the main bank robberies.
So it just come up Neil McCauley and the true story behind the movie Heat.
Mm-hmm.
I might look up his Heat, a true story. I don't think it is. It's not based on a true story, but rather draws inspiration from several real life events and individuals. Okay, so there's inspiration from real life people, but not necessarily proper the real things that happened in those situations. Anyway, so neither of them want responsibility. Pacino doesn't want to have to deal with his wife, and this is his third wife. He doesn't want to have to deal with her or anything. He just wants to be at work all the time. And De Niro doesn't want anything for a lot of the film. Well, for some of the film, he's like, I'm not bothered about having a long-term relationship or any kids. I don't want any friends. He just lives alone in his Malibu, really nice Malibu apartment, or it might be a house. I can't remember. I think it's a big, interesting, like modern looking house, and all he has in there is like 2 sofas, a cupboard, and I think like a bit of food, and that's it. Like, it's such an empty place, and it shows that he's an empty, lonely man. And Pacino, again, he just doesn't want the responsibility of family that he has, and he didn't want to have to commit to his ex-wives, because that's probably why their relationships fell out. And you can look at Pacino as like he's doing it for a noble reason, because you think, well, he's stopping the murders. He just really cares about stopping the murders. But when you really think about it, why is he, if he loves his work that much, why is he even with anyone? Why doesn't he just like live his own life and not be with anyone and just focus on his work? What's so funny?
You're clever.
Oh yeah, I probably need to lean back a bit.
I don't know. Yeah, you just say what is so you? Your head was shining.
Yeah, thank goodness I'm not bald. That would be a bit of a shame. I was lifting today with a friend of mine from work, and he said he'd rather have glasses than be bald. Crazy.
Like, you'd rather have glasses than
So
but
he'd rather have bad eyesight than be bald.
yeah, I completely agree with him.
Serious, bro. Much
Yeah,
rather. I'm so happy and blessed with my eyesight. That I can see things quite clearly and don't need glasses. I'd hate having to put glasses on all the time and arse around and not be able to
yeah, but you
see.
can wear contacts and things like that.
No, I don't like putting things in my eyes. No.
But I'll do it if I'm looking. I'm looking like that the entire time. No, thank you. Uh, can you imagine? Like, come on.
So, I think you probably have to have the right shaped head. Like, you look at me, I'm basically nearly bald now because I've had my head shaved short. I think I look fine, bald, but to be honest, okay, I do get where you're coming from. You don't have you don't have a good shaped head to be bald. You need to have hair.
No. Yeah, tell me.
It depends on your head shape, I think. But to be honest, your eyesight, you got to be thankful for it. You know, I don't know. It's each
Yeah,
their own. Hair's useless. It's just on your head. Well, your eyesight, you
yeah.
can see things clearly.
Mm.
But I know some
But
people that
I could not live with being bored and bored at this point.
what if you were just the unlucky gene in your family and you just went bald? But an unfortunate
I
gene, so
I I I was going to get one of them Turkish like hair transplants.
straight away.
Yes.
You fly all
I, I,
you fly all the way to Turkey, spend over £1,000. Spend over £1,000 to have a hair transplant that might not even work. What the hell?
well, is a chance I'd be willing to take.
No, why wouldn't you just put a wig on or something?
Yeah, that's a idea. But if if there's like a big gust of wind, I'm quite screwed, aren't I? If I go to Turkey, have a hair transplant, I'd be good to go.
No, what about if you were balding?
Oh, I'd share the rest off
But keep
and
the
then
hair that you've
have it done around it.
got. Okay, fair enough. I know there's some geezer who put spray on hair, but it doesn't work for very long.
Yeah, well, I've seen a lot of people do that. Like they do like spray on beards as well,
That's
kind of
ridiculous.
like what Drake did.
That's ridiculous. Spray on beards. Um, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know. Like, I don't know how I'd feel. I think I'd be. I've got the right shaped head. I'd be fine being bald, but it depends. It
Well, I
depends
thought
what
you'd
you.
been bald before.
Yeah, exactly. It depends what you. I don't know. It depends how you feel, I guess. But oh yeah, my mate though at
I'm
the
pretty
gym, he
sure
said,
hair's always quite short.
yeah. But I was gonna
Not
say,
with mine.
yeah. But whenever I try and grow it long, my family just say, "Oh, it looks ridiculous. You need to. It's too curly. You need to make it shorter."
Hmm.
For pity's sake, my bloody ring lights. There we go. Because I keep bloody glowing all the time, man. I can't. There we go. That's better. I'm not glowing as much as before.
That's good. Say.
Goodness gracious. I was like bloody, I don't know, some shiny madman in the sun. Anyway,
Like when Mr. Burns is the alien.
probably shiny than that. Anyway, what the hell was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So my mate from the gym, though, he said, yeah, but I'm going bald soon. I'm going bald. I'm just going to shave it all off because it's falling out. But he said the reason he's bald.
Yeah, if he's balding, there's no point in saving it.
I don't know. I'd rather keep my hair for as long as possible if I was going to go bald.
Mm.
But all I'll say is, he said the reason though that his baldness accelerated was because he went to the gym so much and had loads of testosterone in his body. That's why. He just worked out like a madman and his hair started falling out.
Or 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 is it steroids?
No, he's not on the roids. No. He's done it. He says he's been very tempted by like TRT, EPO, and GH, but he can't afford it.
Mm. I, I don't know why people would do that type of stuff. It must ruin your body.
Yeah, your balls, brains, and heart. It's not worth risking, is it? But there's so many
Oh
people that
god,
are on the
definitely
tube.
balls.
I know exactly. You're the only person who said that after I said. You're the only person who seems to value your body because after most time when I say that, people just laugh a bit. But it's like, bro, it's serious. Like these steroid people end up
Mm.
not being. Obviously, they can still, they can still reproduce, but they might not be able to. They might not have strong swimmers. That's all I'll say. You know,
I've a close encounters of the ball kind, and I'm not
and the
having another one.
Yeah, exactly. You can go bald as well from. Well, I'm guessing and back acne as well. Baldness, back acne. What's the point? But yeah, there's so many people on the
Nah,
juice, bro. But you've seen, you know me. I'm 100% natural. I'd never do that. I mean, if I'm on steroids, I'm bloody doing something wrong because I'm not that bloody big at all. You know what I'm saying?
nah.
But like, I'm just, I got that bit of broadness, and I've got to a decent level. So you know, you can get to an okay level from being natural. But I have been tempted by the juice. Don't get me wrong, though. I have been very tempted. After a hard session, I thought, bloody hell, I'm a beast. Imagine if I was on the gear. But, bro, you know,
Or you could do what Christopher Reeves did in South Park.
no, not George. That was horrible. That was
I
horrible.
know.
That
I
was
know
one
it
of the.
was.
I don't know, bro. That's one of the. I get that it's meant to be an edgy, mad joke, but come on, disrespecting a man who like had a horrible horse accident and then ended up in a wheelchair. That's not really,
Yeah.
you know.
His body just degraded it.
I get that it's meant to be. I get that it's meant to be an edgy joke, but there's some things in South Park I don't find funny. Like when they had that hockey game, then the kid dies of cancer. It's like, what the hell is that? You know, I was
Yeah.
like, that's. I understand the edginess of. I get the joke with Christopher Reeves. Don't get me wrong. I do understand like where they're coming from, but when they had that kid dying of cancer in that hockey episode, I didn't. I thought
Yeah,
it was.
I was watching a video about that the other day about why people hate it.
Yeah, what the hockey episode.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just way too far. Like, at least with the Christopher Reeves one, you can be like shocked at it and be like, bloody hell, what the hell is this? You know, and if you got that really edgy, mad sense of
Like the crack baby basketball team.
yeah, even that was like, oh yeah, I found that one quite funny to be honest. It was just pistol mental. Like that
Yeah.
was actually quite funny. But the kid dying in that hockey game afterwards when he's in bed and he just goes no hope and dies. It's like well, there's no joke, there's no satire. It's just depressing. I was honestly that was probably the most sad and fed up I ever felt watching a South Park episode. I thought that they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel here. There's nothing funny about this at all. You know, like
No.
they've mocked Christianity, and I care about Christianity so much, and you know, I love and respect Jesus, but I get the jokes. You know what I'm saying? I understand the joke
Yeah.
there. You know, well, you know, I'm not one of these people who says you can't have a laugh or I'll kill you for mocking me and mocking my religion. I'll never say that in a million years. You've got to, you know,
Mohammed fans. Am I wrong?
George, you can't. You really want to
He's
get
been
me.
sent to.
No, he really wants to get me. I meant anyone who you know gets really angry about stuff. You know, you don't have to be religious to say I'm going to kill you for mocking what I believe in. You know what I'm saying? There's SJWs who like say, you know, if you mock, you know, you can't mock this. Otherwise, I'm not saying every SJW wants to kill people or every you know religious person wants to kill people. I'm very religious. I don't want to kill anyone if they mock me. But I'm saying I'm not one of these people who's willing to like kill people over a joke. You know that's what I meant. I didn't mean anyone specifically. I don't get why George is trying to really get the podcast destroyed and you know beaten up.
I'm just saying what happened in the episode.
No, that was a different episode, and that wasn't loads of people. I think
Only one person has ever been censored in South Park.
yeah, no, I don't know. It wasn't. So I know what you're talking about, and we need to get back to Heat in a second. So yeah, so I'm trying to think who it was. Caused major controversy due to the depiction of Prophet Muhammad, leading to censorship. Comedy Central, bears
And
sued
Defrit as
deliberate
well.
reference network, which followed the controversies. Europe Spam Paper, Parker Stone, wrist of. So it says the censorship sparked debate about free speech extent which the network which should cave to threats from extremist groups. So I don't think it was like loads of people getting together. I think it was just a few extremist groups saying you can't do this. Which
Well, we know
you
what
should
the extreme groups they are.
you should be able to just take a joke and have a laugh. Like I'm not saying I laughed at when they've jabbed at Christianity. I don't find it funny. Like when Randy Marsh was getting blood peed on his face by the Virgin Mary statue. I didn't find it funny, but I get that they're not being derogatory. They're just trying to have a joke and a laugh. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
and some people do get really annoyed at jokes. Not just religious people. Anyone can be annoyed at it. You know what I'm saying? So everyone's just got to learn.
Definitely in this day
Everyone,
and age.
everyone's just got to try and learn when it's not derogatory and it's a joke. It's a joke. If the people that got angry at South Park episodes, or the depiction of Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad, then they should, they shouldn't watch it.
I'm not being funny. Like in this day and age, you could call it a teapot yellow, and somebody would get offended by it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just madness. Anyway, back to Heat. Where the hell were we with Heat, man? I accidentally sent us on to a bloody massive tangent. Anyway, so yeah, Macaulay, they're having a meal afterwards, and then he wants to kill Waingro, and I thought, oh damn, they're going to kill off the loose cannon straight away. That's a bit mad. And then obviously something else I like about the film is when Vincent's investigating things that Macaulay does, and they're both like he's trying to figure out how good this guy is and how much this guy knows and how good he is at how good he is at heist, and then he's got to try and adapt to him, and Macaulay's trying to think, oh, what are they going to do? How they're going to get us? What do we need to do next? So it's quite interesting there, and so yeah. Anyway, they've got all their bearer bonds, so they're all enjoying life. You've got De Niro who talks to this. Well, you see Chris, De Niro's right hand man, played by Val Kilmer. You're going to see that he actually has a life outside of heisting with his missus and his baby, and she's getting quite pissed off at all his antics, and he ends up storming off.
It's nice we can do a Val Kilmer one.
Oh yeah,
so close, yeah.
Yeah, rest in peace, Val. But yeah, so you see that he's got a life outside of it, and I think the bloke Michael, he also had a wife in the film. And the thing that I like as well is when they want to do the next heist, worth of 12.2 million, they're all like, look, De Niro sits down with Kilmer and has a one-to-one with him and says, in this gig, in this profession, you cannot have anything that ties you down. You cannot have anything that you're not willing to walk out on in 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So it's a very risky game when you've got a family. And he's like, yeah, that's a fair point. But I mean, and he even says to the rest of the heistmen, True Joe, Michael, and Chris, he says to them all, look, I don't know if we should do this. We could all go our separate ways, and we got a bit of money. What do you want to do? And to be honest, instead of thinking to themselves, I've got the life, I don't need all the money in the world. We've got a fair bit of money now. Let's just go home and call it a day. They all want that excitement. They all want that danger. So they're all like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the scene where Robert De Niro and Al Pacino are sitting together having coffee. It's interesting how you don't see both the faces in the same shot. It's always like one shot is, you can see the back of De Niro talking to Al Pacino, and then Al Pacino's talking to De Niro from the other side. But they're never both in the same shot. It seems both at once at the same time with both their faces on screen. I could be wrong. Maybe
they couldn't get them together that day or something like that.
Yeah, maybe the scene at the end where the shootout is has both of them in there, but I don't know. But yeah, I love how Pacino's saying about his dream, about how he sees all the dead bodies that he's encountered over his career, even though he never talks about how much it messes with his head. He just has a drink at the end of his shift when he gets home. He talks about all the bodies he's seen sitting around a table, and he tells it. And then Neil Macaulay says he has a dream that he's drowning, and he has to wake up to make sure he doesn't die in the dream. And I feel like both of them are in similar situations. They both parallel each other because at the end of the day, Al Pacino is pretty much just dedicated to his work, and his work is dealing with the most horrible crap, finding killers and the top criminals and all this stuff, and seeing dead bodies all the time, and having to be strong all the time when he's seen all this horrendousness, And Neil is just on the run and can't form any human connections with anyone apart from the woman he meets in the diner a bit earlier on in the film, and they start talking with each other, and he seems to want connection.
How are we good at finding dead bodies?
Are you going to make a Logan Paul Forrest joke?
No.
Serious? Are you for real?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, you got me. Spot on.
What was the joke?
I would say it would have had a great partner.
Oh, there you go. Then there you go.
Or Mary James quit the podcast.
Now George is host, and now the podcast is getting these podcasts that end up getting terminated for other reasons, not because YouTube made a mistake like with ALP. George bloody run it through the roof. Oh. It would honestly be quite. I know this is another random tangent, but it would honestly be quite hilarious if I was like Keemstar and said, "Oh, I don't actually want to be on this podcast. I'll let you and Liam do everything." It'd be so funny seeing you and Liam.
It'd be gone in a day.
Yeah, you'd be like, all right then, Liam. Watch the. Oh, sorry. Go on.
But now we're alone.
Oh yeah. All right then, Liam. Now we're going to talk about Pokemon Doctor Who. No, I don't find that interesting. Well, let's react to a few videos then. George, you buffoon! They're all copyrighted. How about we get some Star Wars on, so I can let one off on stream? No, even I don't think you should do that, Liam. You don't want to be the next DSP. No. And then that's just the end. It's just for the rest of the podcast, just silence, nothing else. So it would pretty much be gone. And to be honest, I don't see why Keemstar never said he didn't want to be involved in the first place. Like, I know we've discussed this before, but what else has he actually got going on? Like with his bloody YouTube, like Drama Alert's gone. He doesn't make the drama content in the format that people enjoy seeing it in the most. Liam sword fights on stream. Oh dear. Bloody hell. George, madman. You could have said that out loud, George. You didn't have to type that in the private chat.
I was going to, but I don't know. That would be too risky.
No. It's a bit of a laugh. But I hope.
Then it's fine to do. It's us tomorrow.
I don't think Liam would try to sword fight us in a public place in a high-ish class restaurant, George. I don't think he'd do that. I'd like to think he's got a bit more class.
But I think he would stand up on the table and just helicopter around. Just shouting, yes, as you do it. I knew that would get you.
Yeah. It's just I thought, oh, for goodness sake, helicopter. Anyway, what on earth was I saying? Yeah, but what else has he got on, man, Keemstar? Like, I don't see why he wouldn't even want to do this podcast unless he was just lazy at the time and thought, I just want to do what I want to do and I'm not going to be on this podcast. Anyway, I don't know. So, yeah, I like how Pacino says to him in that coffee, on that coffee session, he's like, look, let me make something clear to you. I'm not going to like this. But if I have to take you down and kill you, I will. I'll do you in. And then he's like, De Niro's like, well, there's a counterpoint to that. Because if I have to take you out, I might have to kill you and I won't hesitate. And he's like, well, that makes two of us in this situation then. And then he's like, yep. And then that's that. They go their separate ways for most of the rest of the film. The heist is absolutely epic. The action's brilliant. All the shit.
It is, yeah.
That heist is so much fun. And you know how it is with De Niro. It's all business for him. He doesn't want to kill anyone. He wanted to kill Wanger after bloody basically getting those cops killed, shooting one of the cops in the head, and then getting the other one retaliating so that they all had to kill the rest of the policemen. So yeah, it's just one of those things. Waingro is an interesting villain as well. He's not particularly an interesting villain, but you hate him because he's a horrible serial killer. Going around killing all like the hookers and all that stuff.
Yeah,
evil. And you see the constant. I'm pretty sure they're all hookers, aren't they? Because I don't think that woman would have slept with him otherwise. The woman who he kills at the start.
I think you're probably right.
And yeah, he just kills them all. And you see one lady who died, and you see a family reacting to it, and her mom's really upset. And De Niro has to hug the lady, and not De Niro, sorry, Pacino has to hug the lady. And you see the consequences of these deaths. You know what I'm saying? You think to yourself, oh, this person's
definitely, yeah.
you think this person's just some prostitute. Oh well, they're a hooker, and it's like, hold on a second, but this hooker's got a family. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So anyway, where are we? So yeah, that heist was absolutely legendary. You know, it's sad that obviously cops are getting killed in that, but at the end of the day, they're in the way of the bank men, so they're trying to get past them. It's Val Kilmer getting shot, that adds a bit of risk to the story.
Yeah.
I was a little bit gutted when Mike died, because you see him having a party earlier and having a laugh, and then obviously, but then again, he had his gun. He was carrying a kid and pointing the gun at the kids. So and also he killed a load of police officers. So I guess reality, like if he existed in real life, you'd be thinking, screw this guy, he's evil. So
Yeah.
what else was it? There was another point I was going to make about it. Oh yeah, the dude who got out of prison, the tall, muscly guy who was working in that restaurant, and he's got his missus. And his missus is so proud of him. And he's like, why are you staying with me? And she's like, oh, because I'm so proud of you. You're a legend. And then he's like, oh, thanks. And then he pushes that character over who's nasty to him. But then it's so sad that the thing he's getting into basically gets him killed. He's being a driver again, and he basically gets killed, which is quite sad.
Yeah, it's in a shame because it was on a blocker path to redemption, I thought.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to work that horrible job in the diner. Even though it was a horrible job, it's better than committing crimes and doing evil things.
Yeah.
I guess some people say the film is quite long. Like, again, you see a lot of the characters' relationships and there's a lot of development. But I don't know, man. I like it. I think it adds a lot more
I
to the
think
story.
so. Quite a nice amount.
Yeah, I think it adds a lot to the story. I think it makes you care for the characters a lot more with all this extra development.
Yeah.
So I think that...
She can't even not know who they were. And then you see like Val Kilmer's character gets shot. You wouldn't care that he got shot.
Yeah, if we just had them going around like killing police officers and doing heists, you're not going to be bothered about them. You're going to think what scumbags they are. However, because we got more development, although reality is they're not the heroes of the story, they're the villains, they're the criminals. You're a fan of most of them. Like, I thought Michael would be a cool guy to go and have a drink with. De Niro's
still root for him, yeah.
Yeah, De Niro's character probably wouldn't be that fun to have a drink with, but he's all right. Interesting discussions. Chris Val Kilmer's character doesn't seem like a horrid bloke. And at the end of the day, and Pacino, I know he's not one of the criminals, but yeah, he'd be great to have a drink with. But obviously, he's just too obsessed with his job.
Yeah.
What other stuff? Oh yeah, so the heist is done. They're trying to go on the run. William Fincher sends what's his name after him. Wayne Grow after him. William Fincher, I think he's meant to be a bit of a corrupt guy. How he makes his money, I can't remember how he does it, but he's just a corrupt dude trying to get his money back. It was funny when he tried to kill them at that. Where was it? There was some meeting in a car park, and then De Niro gets the upper hand on them, and they all get killed. And he's like, "We're coming for you," to William Fincher. What else was cool in the film? I like the bit where Pacino's going mad on that building site when he's like, they're looking at us now. Hey, what's going on? Hey, whoa. That bit was pretty cool. When he's like going a bit mad, he's quite pissed off that they're all they're George, what moment are you on about?
Well, when I went back about the police stuff.
I don't know. Anyway, what the hell was I going to say? Oh yeah, so that bit was pretty cool. I love the bit when he's talking to the snakes as well, and he has a go at them like the rats, the informants, and he's like,
"Yes,
you got a great ass, and your head was all the way up it." That bit
I was a reference to you up there.
Yeah, that was iconic. But what reference?
I could just imagine you do it. But
yeah. That was what made me watch the film, because my mate the robot sent me that clip.
Of course it was.
This is legendary. I need to watch this film. And, yeah.
I woke up this morning to a message asking about what's that? Nia from WWE.
No, don't say the other person, George. Careful. Nia Jax, you mean? George,
Yeah,
Nia
you
Jax
know,
is
Jax.
far better than the other lady that I mentioned. Far better.
Are you
George.
talking about Tiffany Stratos
Oh no,
or
Tiffany Stratton's way better looking.
somebody who we can't name on the podcast?
The person who can't be named.
Okay, yeah. I wasn't going to say their name.
Yeah. So what would you pick Nia Jax then? Because you never answered.
I had stuff to do. I was calling people.
It was like when I gave that optional Rikishi before, you picked Rikishi pretty quick. You said, "Well, you just have to have a laugh with him afterwards," and it's like, "Whoa!"
But that's why I picked the boulder to crush me.
So. Oh yeah.
I'll probably go with Stratos.
What, Nia Jax?
No, Tiffany.
No, it wasn't Tiffany Stratton. It was somebody else. I'll forget it.
I'll,
No, Tiffany Stratton's beautiful.
I'll go with Nia
Yeah.
with Nia Jackson.
Yeah, I think Tiffany Stratton's one of the most beautiful ladies in WWE. But yeah, I think Nia's quite good looking as well.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, so that's pretty funny. Al Pacino's madness and shouting. What else? Oh yeah, De Niro going on the run at the end, and then Val Kilmer trying to meet up with his missus again, and then she basically it's quite a sad goodbye because even though he doesn't get arrested, he pretty much is going to have a crap life after that. Like she's like, he's like, oh, and then he just asks one of the blokes playing basketball. He's like, is there any decent apartments around here? And he's like, yeah, down there. He's like, thank you very much.
I also hoping he'd stay with his wife.
It was pretty much impossible with the FBI breathing down their throats.
So
even though he's got away with doing all the bad stuff, it's a pretty sad ending for him, really. But at least he didn't get arrested, I suppose. Oh yeah,
Michael keep his money.
Yeah, Michael got shot in the face, so he's not there anymore. Trujo got a really sad death. Unfortunately, his wife got killed, and then De Niro had to put him out of his misery after he got basically almost beaten to death by Wayne Groman, one of William Fincher's associates. Then basically after that, De Niro's like, speaking to John Voight, and he's like, I'm going to get on a plane and fly off into the sunset. He's like, that's fine if you want to do that. And he's with that woman. But then in the end, I reckon, although he goes back to kill Waingro, I reckon deep down he just wanted a bit more excitement and really didn't want the life traveling into the sunset with her where he didn't have any more excitement. I know obviously he wanted to kill Waingro, who's evil, but he could have just let that go. Waingro would have got killed himself by the police probably or arrested. And yeah, Pacino had a pretty difficult thing to deal with Natalie Portman slitting her wrists in the bath. That was pretty crazy, and she chose.
Oh yeah, that was horrible.
But at least she didn't die in it. And Pacino, oh yeah, that bit was funny where his wife's cheating on him, and he says, "You can do what you want. You can fuck my wife. You can sit on my couch, but you can't watch the fucking TV." Something like that.
Yeah, that was quite funny.
Masterclass performance from Pacino and De Niro. Yeah, so that bit was hilarious. Then he gets Natalie Portman to hospital. And then he speaks to his wife, and she's sort of like, well, this isn't going to work, is it? And he's like, probably not. And then he goes after De Niro after De Niro kills Waingro. It was good to see Waingro get killed because he was so evil. And then De Niro sticks by his word, what he told Val Kilmer before, when says you if you can't run out on the things in your life in 10 seconds flat, you're too close to him, and he just leaves his missus who he really wanted to ride off into the sunset with. The chase scene's good, the shootout's brilliant, how you see De Niro, Shadow, and then Pacino goes pew, 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 pew. That bit was great.
Yeah, that was good.
And then what happens? Oh yeah, I think De Niro has some quippy one-liner saying, I told you I wouldn't where are we? They talk to each other a bit. I should have read more of the script, to be honest, to have a bit more to reference to, but where are we?
I think we're doing quite well. I don't think we need to go for every detail, do we?
It was something funny where he said, like, I told you I wouldn't be going to prison, or it was something like that, but funnier.
Yeah, I know the one you mean. I can't think of it funny.
Oh well. That was Heat. I don't really know what else to say about it. To be honest, it was great. Probably should have made more
Uh,
notes.
yes.
Well, no, it was amazing. I give it a 9 out of 10. I absolutely enjoy it. Sometimes it is a bit slow paced, but you know what? At the end of the day, as I said, you need those slow paced moments to get interested in the characters, and it makes up for it with the fast paced fun. Pacino's performance great.
I'd
De Niro's
probably give it an 8, an 8 myself.
yeah, fair enough. I can see why people wouldn't give it as high rates as what I gave it because I don't know. I just get it like it isn't like some next level masterclass, but
Yeah.
I personally think it is quite amazing. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Now I guess we can move on to the Italian job.
Oh, yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
I know I like this one.
And all I'll say is Heat is better than what I remember it. And with the Italian job, well, I'll say if it was better than I remember, or if it wasn't as good, or if it was like a lot better at the end of the review, because I don't want to set any expectations with this. I'll just say what I say, then I'll say at the end, was it as
Yeah.
good as I remember? But Heat was better than what I remember, to be honest, because I paid a lot more attention to it this time. Anyway, well, for the most part, but I should have made more notes. So, Italian job. We start off with some geezer driving around Italy, and the shots are brilliant. You know, all the shots of the car driving around, how fast he drives around. It's just so cool. And then, unfortunately, he gets killed by a digger. There's this digger truck at the end of this tunnel, and he just goes.
I have to say that opening scene is always iconic.
It is pretty
With the
amazing.
Lamborghini going up the road with days like these playing.
Yeah, definitely.
It's fantastic. I think one of the best opening scenes in a movie ever.
Uh, nah, but it's
But
pretty
I
damn amazing.
mean, not for you because you're not really a car guy, are you?
I think the shots are amazing. I just think
Yeah.
more stuff has to happen in. So for me, the best intros ever are like Star Wars: A New Hope, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. Um, what else is quite damn good?
Yeah, but like when such a massive impact, like he's going up the road and you don't think, right, so anything's gonna happen until he crashes
It
it
is quite a good
in
shot. Yeah,
the mirror into the digger.
yeah, yeah. Goodfellas intro is amazing. Train spotting. Apocalypse Now's intro is pretty good. Saving Private Ryan's intro is
I haven't
really good.
seen that.
Saving Private Ryan's intro is absolutely bloody next level. Godfather, Raiders of the Lost Ark, that was a really
Yes,
good intro. The Lion
I've
King,
seen both of them. Their intros were okay.
which one? Raiders. Bro, Raiders was iconic, man.
Raiders, yeah, that was iconic. Godfather, I like the intro, but I don't think it was as iconic as something like Raiders.
Yeah, fair enough. What else was really good? The Lion King, as much as I think it was overrated film, it's still great, but I think it was overrated. The intro
You
was
think so?
amazing.
Oh,
Savenya, Sissy Boos. Yeah, I do think The Lion King's a little bit overrated, George, if I'm honest. I don't think it's the best Disney film and the pinnacle of Disney.
I think it's better than that live action film they did.
I don't want to watch any of the live action films that they've
No,
done. I
me either.
don't watch them. It's just saftness.
But
What
they just had the new one come out. I've heard the Lilo and Stitch one.
they can get boring.
Do you know what they did?
What?
They've taken out the main bad guy
Oh,
and made it who's Pleakley's best friend now. The big like fat scientist one.
Jumbo. He's the bad guy.
Yeah, Jumbo the bad guy.
That's stupid, man. Jumbo. That's so dumb. Like Jumbo's just a dude who's trying to. I think he's just trying to escape prison or get his job back. Or to be honest, like he's not an evil bloke.
Yeah, he's just a scientist.
Yeah, that's stupid. Making him the total villain.
I know.
He's like their best mate in the series. He's helping them all the time. I remember when I was a kid, he was in it loads. And Pleakley, he has a good laugh.
Yeah, they They took the. Do you know how this design has to be all inclusive and stuff like that?
Mhm.
Yeah, and yeah, do you know how Pleakley used to wear like a dress and a wig?
Yeah.
They completely took that out because they thought it might have been offensive.
How's it offensive? Surely he's like, I don't know.
Tell me, I don't know.
Isn't that meant? Wouldn't Pleakley in a dress and a wig be like promoting that sort of quality and all that jazz? I thought,
Probably. He
like,
was
I
doing
thought
it back
that'd be.
then.
I mean, to be honest, people look into stuff too much, man. Because to me, all I thought of when Pleakley was in a dress and a wig was that he was an alien who thought, bloody hell, Earth seems interesting. I might try on these
Yeah.
different clothes to keep a disguise rather than looking like my alien self.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, the disguise doesn't work. His face still looks like an alien, but it's just comedy. It's just pants.
See, I used to forget that Pleakley was actually a guy.
Oh, I was going to quickly say that.
Like, because of that scene.
I was going to quickly say that the Lion King, though, as much as I think it's overrated, it's still up there as one of the
Yeah.
best films. It's just not the best. So I say Mulan, Atlantis, Hunchback, then Lion King.
I need to watch the Hunchback.
It is very great.
I've watched it. I just want to rewatch it
But when I was a
because
kid,
I enjoyed it.
I found it kind of boring. But like as an adult, it is quite moving. But there is some
Yeah.
bits where I'm like, this could have been a lot better than what it was. However, it's still a very great film. Then probably The Lion King. Then I'll probably put Aladdin after that.
Does it remind you of one of our friends?
The Lion King.
And they're the Hunchback.
No.
No. So
Oh wait, no, George.
well, that
George.
might be a bit too
George.
loud.
Oh no, I think I know you bloody. You have to try and get me in trouble with everyone. You trying to get me cancelled, and then you. No. He's trying to get me cancelled early, trying to get the podcast destroyed, and then cancelled and ruined, and then getting trying to get guests annoyed at me, like he's bloody really stirring the pot, George.
I haven't said anything.
Anyway, back to the Italian job. Pardon me. So he gets blown up, the bloke in the sports car, and then we see that Michael Caine, he's out of prison, yes. So he's out of prison, and he has his beautiful American missus pick him up, and and she organises something where a load of ladies have a lot of fun with him in a hotel, which I was like, damn, that's interesting. She doesn't mind.
That's a woman.
She doesn't mind. She doesn't mind being cheated on. Okay, well, organized cheating. But then Michael Caine
cooking, anything.
Did she do a lot of cooking in it?
No, cooking herself. Like
Oh,
CK.
sorry, yeah. So yeah, she basically cooked herself, but well, she probably wasn't in the cupboard enjoying watching it, or was she? So she sort of cooked
I
herself.
probably would.
What, you would? Oh wait, yeah. Well, if there's a load of ladies, doing their thing and they're having a good time with Michael Caine, you are going to enjoy watching all those ladies going mad.
Of course you are.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. But he's a bit.
Michael Caine was a good-looking man. Or is a good?
Yeah, for an old geezer, you got to give him respect.
Yeah.
He's objectively, good-looking geezer for like 90. So fair play.
Yeah.
He could probably pull that off now with all those ladies.
he probably could. He probably does it. He probably has like he Saturday night. Come over, ladies.
Yeah. But what was I saying? Yeah, so but then he gets a load of ladies in afterwards and she's like, get out of here. Now, Charlie, why did you do that to me? He's like, oh, well, what about what happened before? You got all those ladies in. And he said, that was a gift, Charlie. No. And then what's his name? Camp Freddy or something comes in, or Campy Joe. Or Feminine Fred. I can't remember his name.
Freddy.
And he comes in and he's like, Mr. Bridger wants to talk to you, Charlie. He's like, get away! And then he just runs off. And then they eventually catch him. And then he ends up doing organising the heist, and you don't get a lot of character development for all the heist people in it. But however, I don't know, it's just a proper heist film. All you need is for Michael Caine to say, "This is this bloke, this is this person, this is this lady, this is this bloke." You don't need
And you're
anything.
only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
Oh yeah, the training sequence for the heist was a lot of fun. Like it doing all the random
Yeah.
stuff. Him going
And all them minis as well.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I love the zooming.
Yeah.
You were only supposed to blow the bloody doors off. Goated. That's
Absolutely fantastic.
That's like me and George. Right, George, will this fix the Fiesta? Yes, stand back, James. It'll fix the Fiesta. Don't worry. Engine seized. I can sort it. All right, then. Press this button. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off. Well, I think it was an improvement. Goated.
Oh God, the battery's done it again.
Because you blew it up. Classic. Anyway, what the hell happens after that? So yeah, the training sequence is really cool because we don't usually see people training for a heist. So that was a lot of fun.
And then testing all the minis was fantastic.
Yeah, that was pretty good, Bance.
And then you have the actual heist itself going all over the city roofs.
Yeah, I liked how they made it PG by having like bloody either people with bats or hose pipes being sprayed, so pretty much anyone can watch the Italian Job and enjoy it. Obviously, there's adult themes, but it's not like you don't see anything vulgar in it. So
I think I was probably about 12 or 13 when I first watched it.
Yeah, well, it's a PG, so it's not that bad, is it?
Mm.
And then what happens after that? Oh yeah, so the heist itself is just very practical and fun, such an easy watch. The chase is amazing. It's so practical and well done. All the long shots. Also, like all the shots where cars are getting chucked off cliffs. They're very well done. Those shots.
Yeah, I have to say that the first time I saw that, I was quite upset seeing the minis go. But the 3 minis that they chucked off the cliff were from that test sequence earlier in the movie.
Yeah, I was going to say I was hoping
because they would have been quite damaged from that jump.
Yeah, so that, at least they only got rid of the the more damaged ones.
Yeah, but they were basically scrappers at that point.
Yeah, thing is,
and then they kept the original ones.
Yeah, thing is as well, like as much as it is sad seeing all the I'm not a car person, so I'm not. Even I was like quite sad seeing all these cars get destroyed. I was like,
yeah, but and I like it earlier on in the movie when you have well, it's meant to be a Aston Martin DB6 convertible, and some other cars crushed by that digger. And it turns out they were actually Alfa Romeos made to look like Aston Martins.
Oh, okay.
Because they have the budget.
Interesting, man. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, but at the same time, what I try and think is it is a film and things are going to get destroyed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, anyway,
the original cars still live on. So somebody owns all 3 of them.
I bet they're worth a fortune then.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, what happens after that? So yeah, they escape, and you're like, we're home free, lads. It's just a Shell Preservation Society. Pardon me. I love the driving sequence there when they're all on the bus celebrating, and then they end up nearly falling off a cliff.
A literal cliffhanger.
And the sequence is done so well because it doesn't just end there. Like Mark Caine's like, right, everyone get back, quick. And he's like, all right then. I'll go forward slowly. And then the goal goes, and then the bus goes slightly further off, and he's like, oh no, lads, I think we're going to be here a long time. And then that's the literal cliffhanger. What do you think happened to them after the ending? Do you think they just all ran off the bus, or do you think they fell off, or do you think they just found a way to get some gold off?
I imagine they got the gold off as the bus was about to fall, and they all basically survived.
I guess that's the nicest ending. I personally think what happened is they all ran off the bus and then tried to retrieve the last bits of gold and then went home to Mr. Bridger.
Yeah, he's supposed to see it similar to me then.
Yeah. I wish I had more. I should have made more notes with these films, man, but I just couldn't be bothered. I don't know why. I just thought I'll remember.
Yeah,
Remember.
well, I think it's better going in raw because people get raw reactions, don't they?
Yeah. With this film though, I'd say it's a very great film. 8.5 out of 10. Not as great as I remember. Not as great as I remember, but still very great. Still a very easy watch. You can show this to anyone of all ages and they'll enjoy it probably. It's just such an easy watch, such a fun film, great practical action, flies by. Just not really anything outstanding. Like the characters aren't really that deep. I care about Charlie and his missus, I guess, in the film, but I'm not really bothered about the rest of the characters. They're all like, there's not really much to them. But again, the film isn't trying to be some deep film. It's just meant to be some solid heist film. So I'd say 8.5 out of 10. Very, very great film. What would you say, George?
Well, being that I've got models of all the minis, and it's one of my favourite films, it's got to be a 10.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say that. And to be honest, I do get why people will give it. Like, me in the past, sometimes I've said, how can you give it this score? Oh! But obviously,
And I gave your film a 2.
a 3. I do
A
get
3,
why.
yeah.
I do get why someone will give this a 10 or say it's one of the best films ever. Like, it's just such an easy watch. And it's a lot of fun. I just think it's quite surface level and not really much to it. But the way it's made and everything and edited and the story and how fun it is, how fun to watch it is, I'd say it's a very great film. Yeah. I
Yes.
guess we can move on. Have you got anything else you want to say about it? Or yeah, wait. Oh, sorry. I was
I
going to
think
say
I'm done.
Benny Hill was quite funny. How he liked the big curvy women. Cool lad ahead of his time. And
Oh, oh yeah, that guy really reminds me of you.
yeah, and then
And he looks out the window, and that big fat woman's getting out the car and away at him. And he's like, hit it back to her.
and
James got himself in the film there.
yeah, and the bit where they speed him up as well. That was pretty funny. When they
Yeah.
speed him up, I honestly thought something was wrong with my telly. I thought, what the hell's going on? But then I realised that was just for the joke. I guess, do you want to move on to the segments then, or
Yeah.
sounds good to me? All right. Generally knowledgeable. Welcome to the generally knowledgeable segment where I give questions and George has to, or the
Oh
co-host or
my
whoever's
god.
on has to answer them. First question, GC.
Yes.
Which games console has sold the most? Is it A, the Nintendo DS, B, the Nintendo Switch, C, the PS2, or D, the PS4?
PS2.
Final answer.
And the Switch is close second.
Final answer, yeah?
Final answer, yeah.
Yeah, you are correct. PS2 with over 160 million as of 2024, late 2024. But Switch is not second yet,
Yeah.
mate. It's very close to second, but
Oh,
it's not second. It's 152 million. Second place is the DS at 154.
that doesn't make sense.
It
It
doesn't.
was very popular. I literally have 2.
Exactly, yeah. Now on to I was going to say as well. It seemed everyone had like a Wii and a DS and all that stuff, man. They all loved it. Not as many people are bothered about the Switch, like that I know in England and stuff. But it seemed like a lot of people had a DS, man, and a lot of people had
Yeah.
a Wii. But then,
Well, I had a DS, a 3DS, and then I had the Mario Red Wii.
yeah. But even my cousins, like they had a Wii, and they had DSs, and my other cousin had a DS. And what else? What was the other one? That was it, I think. Yeah, I don't think people just weren't bothered about the Wii U, were they? But yeah,
Yeah, well, the Wii U flopped.
yeah. Next question: who directed Goodfellas? Is it A. Quentin Tarantino, B. Martin Scorsese, C. Danny Boyle, D. Guy Ritchie?
Aye.
Quentin Tarantino. Final answer.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm afraid you are incorrect, George. It was Martin
Yeah,
Scorsese.
I thought so. I thought
What do you mean you
so.
thought
I
so?
get that. I thought I get that wrong. I couldn't think.
Fair enough. Which city was visited the most in 2024? Is it A, London, B, Bangkok, C, Paris, or D, Hong Kong?
But watching the news, I wouldn't be surprised if it's London.
Yeah.
For all what's in there, but that's another story.
No, George,
So,
tourism. You can't, George. Tourism, not
yeah,
yeah, tourism.
yeah, tourism. What do you think I'm talking about?
Sorry, I thought you were just trying to get the podcast banned again.
No, no, tourism, of course.
Okay. What do you reckon? What
On
do you reckon?
both.
What did you say? Oh, you said both. Oh, yeah. Well done. Thanks for that, George.
Yeah,
Right.
cruises. Oh, yeah.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, good save.
Yeah.
What are you picking then?
So say that again, please.
Bangkok, London. London, Bangkok, Paris, and Hong Kong.
I'll probably say Paris, actually, because it is the city of love.
Final answer.
Yeah.
George, I am afraid you are wrong.
Is the shit out London?
No. London was number 3. Number 1 is Bangkok at 32.4 million.
Of fucking course it is. Of course it's the place called Banking Cock.
No, but the thing is, I honestly thought like you might have got that right because of the Callum's Corner videos.
Oh, I was thinking of the Cannon Corner videos, but all I was thinking is the lady boy saying, "You want massage? You want massage?
Yeah.
It's your car."
Goodness gracious. But no, at the end of that,
Just coughing, Callum.
unless you pay attention to Goodfellas,
Let you go.
it's going to be difficult to guess who directed it. And then the most visited one, I think I guessed London originally when I thought to myself, what city's the most visited? I think I guessed London. Oh no, I might have guessed Tokyo because I'm a big Japan fan.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'll probably about Tokyo as a quite good guess.
to be honest though, with Tokyo, I'm surprised that isn't the number 1 visited because it's cheaper than like London and Paris, nicer. People are typically like the Japanese, typically very friendly.
Yeah.
You can get
and Americans as well.
Well, yeah. You can get around the city quite easily. The trains aren't going to be cancelled, or they're probably a little bit overcrowded because of the population, but not like massively overcrowded.
It'll probably be a bit of tourists there as well.
What you reckon? A 6 foot man's a tourist?
Well, I think Asians are quite short, aren't they?
I don't know. Anyway,
I thought all like 5 foot.
Look, even though George is the co-host, I'm all for free speech and people saying what they want, you know. Obviously, as long as it isn't something that YouTube detect and instantly ban me for. You know, if I'm like Dana White, man, I'm like free speech all the way. You know, if George did get in trouble for any of this stuff, you know, he's not getting far from the podcast. But that doesn't give you a reason to say stuff to get the podcast banned, though.
I said that. I just said Asian people are shorter, which is true. They're like 5 foot.
They're not 5 foot, you madman.
But fucking look it up. I know they're short. Because you get look on Carl Pilkington when he's like towering above them. And it's just a white man poking out of a load of Asian people walking about.
Yeah, okay. You win this round, Juicy. You win this round.
Thank you.
Right. So now on to job slobs. Would you rather work for the NHS in a centre file department? So basically, this job.
In what department? Paedophile department.
I knew you'd do this to me.
No, I literally did it here. I was grabbing a can.
No, a department called Centre File. George, why would there be a paedophile department?
I don't know.
Why
I
not?
don't know.
And if a paedophile department existed, why would I say, George, would you like to work at this paedophile department? You know.
Look, where to grab one of these.
Anyway,
So, paedophile department, and what's the other one? Is it a DIE department or something like that?
no, it's not that department. So the Centre File department is where they usually pick out files and I think they just put them in to be delivered to a hospital, to be honest. So it's not in a hospital itself, but it's within the NHS, so you get all the nice benefits and extra time off and the decent pension.
Right.
And all you're doing is you have to concentrate, but you pick the files, take them to the delivery person, and bye-bye. There you go. So would you rather do... And it's just band one pay. So I'm trying to look at NHS band one pay. I think it is better than minimum wage. I'm guessing it is. Right? You see, NHS... what is band one pay per hour?
See what I was going off not that long ago. A guy in the same room with was having nurses like having to finger his ass because of boils and stuff.
Oh, I don't even want to ask about that. All I heard was bloody some guy he fingered his ass, boils. I thought, what the hell's going on? What's this turning into? Or would you rather work in a text-to-chat speech job where you're just solving people's queries over text on a computer chat?
See, that would be funny because you could just piss them off.
What, you just keep pissing them off and saying stupid stuff to them?
Yeah. Well, you say, I do not understand your question. Can you please repeat your problem?
You're picking that one so you can ask around and get fired?
Yeah.
I picked the Centre File one. I love that decent pension. And even though I worked in the NHS prior, it was in a warehouse as an apprentice, so I was basically getting paid nothing.
Oh, yeah, you killed a man. Well, attempted murder.
Trying to bloody get me in trouble all the time. That obviously that wasn't mentioned on the new podcast, but he's just trying to get me cancelled. And the problem is with GC, I don't know what's got into GC this episode. I don't know why he's just constantly trying to get me bloody cancelled and the podcast banned and bloody all this madness. I don't get what his issue is. So what happened was I wasn't trained on this piece of equipment called the tug where you pull cages along on wheels. And I pulled it to the left slightly, and then one of the cages whacked the side, and a piece of wood went flying down really quick, and an old man was 2 meters behind it. So if he had walked a bit further, yes, he probably would have died, and I would have gone to prison. Well, I could have gone to prison for 2 years for manslaughter. However, what probably would have happened is hopefully I would have been able to fight the case and say they didn't give me enough training on this item. I don't think I should do any prison time for this, and hopefully that would work. Would have they really put a 19-year-old young dude who had no prior convictions in prison for accidentally killing someone with an item that he wasn't trained on? But thank God it didn't kill the bloke at the end of the day. I'm so thankful that it didn't. And hopefully, I mean, it's been 6 years, so nearly 6 years, so I don't know if he's still alive now. I'm not sure. Don't know. No idea. But yeah, I guess we'll just.
He probably died from shock.
No, he walked up to me and said, are you all right? I thought it might have hit you, the wood. And I went, no, I'm all right. Went, oh, okay.
No, but I'll get you next time, old man.
Anyway, this has just been a mad podcast. This has. I don't know what. I hope the animal one tomorrow goes all right. I hope it's not. I hope Scott isn't trying to just get me banned constantly and the podcast deplatformed over and over again. Like, you know.
I'll give Scott a text out and tell him what to do.
Brilliant. It's interesting. I like how you're doing a podcast where you're bloody running around the kitchen cleaning everything.
I'm doing lunch.
Doing lunch, fair play. That is some respect for multitasking right there, bro. Respect to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice when when kids repay them and do their meals for them occasionally. Well, you do the
Yeah.
lunch every night, don't you? For
I do. Every night I do a sandwich with some cereal, drinks, and some crisps. So quite a nice little lunch.
yeah, man.
But it's always nice to repay your parents back whatever you can.
Damn right. Anyway, I guess we can nicely wrap that up there. Or actually, GC, do you want to say a few words? Please just make it a bit more tame and don't go too mad.
If you haven't watched both of these films, go and do it because you're missing out. That's what I'll say for now.
There you go then. Come on, GC, get on the camera for the last few minutes. Don't have a
Horse
bit of
club.
milk. Oh, brilliant.
Oh, good. Let me put this on and I'll kneel down. There you go. Oh, yeah.
Well, that's all we've got to say for today. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Have a good one. See you. Actually, George, for a laugh,
Yeah.
to make up for your trying to cancel the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
could you just go like this, like a madman? That'd be pretty funny.
I've got a better idea.
What the hell's happening?
Switch cam.
That is pretty funny, yeah. Because it was for context. For context, there was a Liam's intro when the music starts playing. It's me going like, "Whoa!" Or like, no, I'm moving my back like this. I can't remember what pen. I remember Ben goes like with his forehead, and then you've got GC going. Aaron's going, "Ooh," and then GC's going like an absolute lunatic, like some absolute madman. I wish I could remember what episode that was from because I thought, what was the context for you going bloody?
I don't think there probably was context knowing
It's
this.
probably just some random madness. I was probably trying to. I reckon if we ever found that somehow, or if I've archived it, then I'll re-upload it to an archive channel. I reckon probably what happened was I kicked you and then invited you back and full screened you, and you just started going, moving the camera back and forward like a madman.
Probably, yeah.
That's what I reckon. If I had to guess.
More than likely.
Then all we got to say for today. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Have a good one. See you later.
And don't kill people.